In a run-down Russian hospital in the late 1800s, a doctor hungers for intellectual conversation. His friends are boring, his life is stagnant, and he longs for someone who can match his wits. He finds his conversation partner in the most unlikely of places, Ward number 6, the mental patient wing, a raving, paranoid, schizophrenic madman, the most honest and brilliant man he'll ever meet. This is the premise of Anton Chekhov's novella, Ward number 6, one of a handful of works which quickly cemented Chekhov as my favorite 19th century Russian author. Among the ranks of Dostoevsky and Tolstoy, Chekhov didn't write any such hefty tomes as War and Peace or Crime and Punishment. His works are mostly relegated to short stories and plays, but Chekhov's characters are by far my favorite. In my opinion, he is the most empathetic of the three writers. His characters are written with such complexity, such care. But how? What sets him apart from the others? Reading about his life, something becomes clear. This was a man who made his living in two worlds. On the one hand, he was a doctor, traveling thousands of miles to treat patients in rural areas of eastern Russia, including providing welfare to prisoners and the poorest communities. On the other, he was one of the greatest writers of all time, composing 4 classic plays which provided the inciting productions of 20th century modernism. The empathy of a passionate man is found embedded in his plays. The characters in The Cherry Orchard particularly moved me. From the aristocracy's slow decline to the rise of the middle class, Chekhov approaches all the members of his considerable ensemble as three-dimensional people with humanity, each of which deserves to be examined in equal depth. I think it's really easy as a writer to over-romanticize the process of writing. There's so much about the aesthetics of it that is romanticized by people, specifically in online spaces, but I don't think that it really affords much room for enrichment. Logistically speaking, we need things to write about. There's this interview where Werner Herzog is talking about how independent filmmakers can make money to fund their films, and he tells the interviewer that his advice is not to go out and get like a 9-to-5 office job somewhere, but to work with their hands or seek out places of work where they will encounter interesting people. I think he says something along the lines of working as a prison guard or in an asylum or something, and it made me think of Chekhov, because here is a man who devoted half of his life to medical practice and the other half of his life to writing about these complex people. I can only assume that Ward number 6 is in some part based on some folks that he may or may not have interacted with. I don't want to be one of those literary nerds who reads a book and then goes, okay, what is it about the author's real life that inspired this? I don't think that that's all that useful, but I think there is a lesson to be learned here about living a life worth writing about. I'm no doctor. I won't be crossing Siberia to tend to sick prisoners in derelict hospitals, but I can embark on my own pilgrimages. I can confront my own wastelands and tend to my own people. Chekhov has taught me the importance of writing, not with writing as the object itself, but with a life to write about. You can subscribe to my newsletter for weekly writing at the link below, and look out here for a new video every Thursday. Take back your attention, and I'll see you next week.